So we have a really cool show here for you, and I was going to do some Q&A here like I usually do, or like I've started doing at the top of the hour. But there's something we got to talk about. There's some actual legitimate breaking news here that's pretty extreme.
Okay, where's the breaking news thing?
Well, we usually do that. It's funny. This is actually very serious. This is a very serious thing, and I wanted to talk about it. But being reported, shots fired near Trump's golf course in West Palm Beach, Florida. Gunman dropped his rifle, 2 backpacks, and fled in a car. Suspect apprehended by sheriff's deputies on I-95. No motive given. Biden and Harris briefed, they said they're relieved that Trump is safe. Republican president, this is being reported by Reuters, by the way. Reuters, excuse me. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump was safe after the FBI said appeared to be an assassination attempt. You can tell this story was written really, really recently. It hasn't even been edited. Appeared to be an assassination attempt on Sunday, today, just a couple hours ago, while he was golfing on his own course in West Palm Beach, Florida. Law enforcement officials said U.S. Secret Service agents spotted and fired on a gunman in some bushes near the property line with an AK-47 style assault rifle. The New York Times and Fox News Channel identified the suspect as Ryan Wesley Ralph, 58. Now, that's an interesting point. I've been listening to the coverage of this, and the fact that this guy's 58 makes it a very different situation.
Why is that?
Because usually these extreme or these weird murderers who go shoot up a defenseless school or a movie, they're young, and the significance there is that that's usually when some of the mental health issues start kicking in.
Is she not hooked up?
I can't hear. But he's 58. He's not going through some kind of transition. You know what I mean? He's not. His parents aren't going, gee, this guy made it to 58, which makes me believe that this was a little bit more deliberate and possibly not exactly mental health related, although it's entirely possible people with 58, go through mental health.
Go ahead and talk.
Could have been brewing for a while. It could be that it's
I hear her.
Something. Yeah, I think I'm good. Something that's been just laying low.
It very well could have been
reported.
Yeah. But a little bit different. That's just a data point.
Just an observation.
Different generation.
Yeah, this dude's 58.
Different generation.
Reuters was not able to verify the reports, although it's being reported this guy's 58 from Hawaii, which is kind of interesting. And let's see. After spotting the rifle barrel, so what was happening was he was playing golf, and some of the Secret Service agents went ahead of him about 150 yards. So they were clearing the area, which I guess is standard practice, is what they're saying. And one of them actually saw the barrel of a rifle sticking through a fence. And that's not a good sign.
Now, he didn't get a round off.
Did not get a round off. After spotting the rifle about 400 to 500 yards away from Trump as they cleared holes of potential threats ahead of his play, the agents engaged the gunman and fired at least 4 rounds of ammunition around 1:30 p.m. Palm Beach County Sheriff Rick Bradshaw told the news conference that the gunman then dropped his rifle, 2 backpacks, and other items and fled in a black Nissan car. A witness, the sheriff said, saw the gunman and managed to take photos of the car and license plates, which is crazy. The Secret Service did exactly what they should have done, Bradshaw added. After the suspect fled the scene, law enforcement officials said that they sent out an alert to statewide agencies with information on the vehicle, which led to the sheriff's deputies in neighboring Marin County apprehending the suspect on I-95. So they caught the guy. He got away. He left some of his stuff, and I guess in the backpack were plates, like protective plates.
Okay.
Armor plates?
Yeah, ceramic plates.
Right.
And we have somebody in custody right now, said Bradshaw, who did not identify the suspect or give details on possible motive.
They also found a GoPro camera strapped to him as well, recording the entire incident as well. So
yeah, he had a GoPro. The other thing is, I've heard reports that these are unconfirmed early reports that his social media was political in nature. He had some posts on it that were political in nature, and I guess like one in particular was anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian. and he seemed to be firing people up to go help Ukraine against Russia. Like was actually trying to get people to
Fly over there.
fly over there. So I don't know if this guy has mental health issues. That's all going to come out. But I got to tell you, this is the second assassination attempt.
But do you really
In
think
2
all of
months.
this information is going to come out?
Well, I don't know.
Because this kind of stuff they haven't been really good about releasing information.
They haven't. The only thing, the thing that makes me hopeful is the amount of criticism they took last time, and the fact that it's on Trump's property,
Right.
and the fact that they're in Florida. There are a lot of things that are basically saying, "Hey, we things might actually get uncovered here."
Right. And you have a governor that will probably make sure things get uncovered.
I hope so, and I think even local law enforcement is probably more apt
Or
to
Secret Service.
Well, who knows? I don't know. They did a good job this time, but I got to tell you,
That's
they
what
were
I'm
a
saying.
freaking clown show last
Well,
time.
and that report has not come out yet. They keep saying it's
Not in
coming
full.
out.
Yeah, but they have a new boss. The lady that was running the joint got kicked out at Secret Service. But I want to emphasize, though, one of the reasons I want to talk about this, not just to keep you informed, but I really wanted to make a point here in a couple minutes. This is completely and totally unacceptable. And that sounds cliche, but in 2 months, so no president's been shot in 40 years, and then Trump.
Right.
And, in 2 months, there has now been a real and serious threat on Trump's life. And at the time, the last time around, I said, hey, this political rhetoric that's coming from Democrats that is making it acceptable for this kind of behavior has to stop. We have to talk about this, and we have to hold them accountable. We have to stand up and say, whoa, that's enough. And I got to tell you, I walk the walk. You're not going to hear me talk about how ugly people are or whatever. I mean, and I regularly shut down discussions of conspiracy theories, and you're not going to hear me, tell people, talk about people that are evil or whatever. I talk about their policies. I talk about things that they say. I criticize them for their track record. And that is what we have to do. That is what politics has to be. Because and hold the music for a sec, before we go any further, we have to accept that, hey, this wouldn't have happened if they weren't talking about Trump and comparing him to Hitler.
I totally agree with you.
I mean, how many times you say, well, gee, if I could go back in time, I'd kill Hitler. Like, that's just acceptable. And it's totally acceptable. But now what they're doing is they're saying, hey, by the way, this guy is literal Hitler again. He's in bed with the Russians. He's going to end democracy.
He's going to start World War III.
He's going to start World War III.
Right.
And that is creating an environment to where it is acceptable. Well, gee, I'm going to go be a hero. I'm going to go take this guy out.
But they don't care.
They have to start to care. And everyone listening to this, you have to talk to whoever. We all know people are voting for Biden. And I think that it is time to say, hey, you know what? Don't call him a libtard or, hey, you're ruining the nation or whatever. You have to bring it down and say, hey, you know what?
Just vote.
No, what I'm saying is you got to tamp down the rhetoric. Like, let's talk about policy. Let's talk, okay, you disagree with the guy. You don't like the way he speaks. That's fine. But this whole thing where he's, a threat to democracy.
Well, they just hate him.
They hate him, then that's fine. But hate his policies.
Right.
And, this embellishment, this emotional, where it's just okay to think of this guy as evil. That's not okay.
Right.
And
you got pundits saying.
Oh, big time. Not just, you have elected officials, elected Democrats. Yes. You have the media, people on, like big media, like CNN, MSNBC.
Much as I hate to say it, The View,
look
Rachel
Maddow, all these big.
Oh my Lord!
We have to get to a point where we go, hey, whoa, we're the adults in the room, and this whole thing about how evil and horrible he is, and he's going to end democracy. What does it mean to end democracy?
Yeah.
So he's going to end your ability to vote for your leaders? Is that what you're trying to say? Because he was in office for 4 years,
and what happened?
And none of that happened. In fact, it is completely, accurate to say that most of his actions were taking power away from federal government and giving it, to back to the states, back to people. His Supreme Court picks, his policies, his foreign policy, all fell in line with that.
Were you better off 3 years ago or 8 years ago?
Right.
Where were you? That's the bottom line. Where were you better off?
Right. Are you better off now or after 4 years ago? Yeah, I get you.
It's just that simple.
But the rhetoric has to stop, and we have to start calling out people. We have to start standing up and say, "Hey, you know what? That's enough." You see a reporter say something completely inappropriate like that, you have to write the email. You have to make the phone call. You see an elected official making some kind of claim, some kind of extremist claim. But by the way, against Trump or any elected official, you have to be the one that says, "Hey, you know what? I don't agree with that kind of rhetoric."
And I think the person that's in charge of that party should call those politicians out and say, enough, stop that.
It is right now, this situation is 100% in the lap of the Democrat Party. And my evidence, my proof is the fact that Trump has been almost assassinated twice in 2 months.
Right. Right, I'm right there.
And as the first person to have some kind of, Biden, there was no attempt. No. Obama, as much as they said, we're really afraid that he's going to, there's no, credible attempt.
Right.
Clinton, there was no credible attempt. And by the way, you didn't hear you didn't hear us talk about them in the way that Democrats talk about Trump right now.
Never.
It is completely inexcusable. Totally. It is wrong, and we all need to stand up and say, hey, you know what? I don't even want to talk about the issue right now. Mm-hmm. I just want to talk about the way you're talking about the issue.
Exactly.
Because it's not right, and it's leading to a horrible, horrible situation. Okay, let's go to a commercial.
Right.
But everybody, look it up, see the details. I think it's an important story. Talk about it with your friends and family. But I think the push from here on out, and not just for this week and not just for this month, but for here on out, we need to be the adults in the room, and we need to say, hey, you know what? That rhetoric is not okay.
Stop it.
Just talk about policy.
Right.
If is he lying? Okay, great. He's lying. Tell me how. Let's talk about what's going on.
Let's just talk about it.
Yeah, but hooking him to Russia, comparing him to Hitler, saying he's going to take away your democracy, it's unacceptable.
Totally.
Done. Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. If you're watching mainstream media, you're not getting the truth about guns. Gun Owners Radio is the easiest way to stay on top of the Second Amendment fight, the fight for your self-defense rights. You can watch our live stream on YouTube every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, or if you're in San Diego, AM 1170, FM 96.1, The Answer. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform. Just search Gun Owners Radio and you'll find our show. Like and subscribe to help defend and restore the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.